Yes, sir. Welcome back to Soapbox Sports. Clean takes, bold debate, straight from the Soapbox. B. Had a lot of game sevens this weekend. How we feeling, man? How we feeling?
Life is good. Sunday was a good day for all my people in Cleveland. Shout out.
Yeah,
It's a
to the
good
land.
day to be from the land. So, yeah, man, I'm feeling great.
Oh, man. All ball podcast. We only talking basketball today. NFL really isn't quite kicked off. A couple months away from the World Cup. So we're going to stick to what's on and popping. Round one wrapped up. We know who is in the conference semifinals, conference semifinals. Brian, who you want to start with, man? We want to start with the East, man. We want to talk about
Let's start with
the reactions.
let's start with the East, man. A whole lot of drama. The NBA rigging game sevens. You got balls hitting off the rim. Pause. RJ Barrett hitting game winners, man. Crazy. But listen, let's kick it off with the Knicks and the Hawks. We're going to just start with not a game seven, but a blowout of epic proportions. I don't even know. This might be the biggest blowout in NBA history. I had some family that attended the game, and they were requesting refunds after the first quarter. But essentially, the Knicks won by 51 points, beating the Hawks. They led as much as 61 points throughout the game. They put up, game-like numbers. Chris, what's up with the Hawks, man? What's up with Atlanta? I did not see that coming.
Brian, that's probably one of the most embarrassing things I've ever seen. Listen, so I'm not even going up front. I didn't watch the whole game. Luckily, there was another game on after it. Well, during that came on in between their game and the other one. And, by the second quarter, I looked up at the screen and I had to double take. I was like, yo, maybe NBC has the stats wrong, bro. But that thing said 59-19. I said, nah, bro. There's no way the Hawks are getting blown out by 40 before halftime on their home court. Sure enough, in Hawks fashion, they got smacked, bro. Impressive win for the Knicks. I don't know what to make of or what the Hawks do next. I thought they should have fired the coach. After that type of embarrassing loss, you got to fire the coach. Everybody talks about how they did well coming down the stretch down the season. Brian, I know you always talked about how you never found any of their opponents to be viable. And it kind of showed in those last two games, honestly, versus the Knicks.
Man.
Silver lining, Brian, they have the Pelicans pick. So it's going to be a top 5 pick. And they'll get some talent in there. So they got to figure it out.
Listen, like I said, it wasn't Knicks in 5, like I said. But with that ass whooping, it might as well been Knicks in 5. Yeah. That was a very accurate prediction on my end. Listen, the Atlanta Hawks, they had a good run at the end of the season. The dominoes fell perfectly for them. Honestly, I feel like they would have done the same thing if they had Trae Young. Jalen Johnson, he's solid. He puts up numbers. He's a stat chaser to me, but he ain't that guy just yet. As you can see in the playoffs, who was that guy for the Hawks? CJ McCollum. Nickeil Alexander-Walker didn't do much in the playoffs. Dyson Daniels, couldn't shoot a lick. Left him wide open. Can't shoot. They don't have a legit big, which I think they really need. But overall, decent season for Atlanta because they didn't expect much. But like I said, Knicks in 5, baby. The Knicks advance. Kudos to them. Ain't much to talk about because we got more things to talk about with the Knicks ahead.
Brian, you was flip-flopping though, man. You think Hawks in 7 after a while. You got scared.
No, I ain't do that on the pod though. On the pod, bro. If it ain't on the pod, it ain't real. Listen, Knicks, we know how the Knicks go. They are very inconsistent, very wishy-washy. Mikal Bridges dropped a donut in the game. Man, it's hard to have trust in them. But it looked like they found they found the right buttons to push, especially Mike Brown when it counted. But yeah, let's move on though, because that series was a wash. Hawks out of here. Let's go to Boston. Boston, Philly. Who would have thunk, Chris? Who would have thought that Philly knocked off Boston? Chris, was this more of a Boston meltdown or is Philly legit?
It's a Boston meltdown.
Boston meltdown.
It's a Boston meltdown. And the reason it's a Boston meltdown is for one reason and one reason alone. Jaylen Brown crashed out at the end of the series, bro. He crashed out at the end of the series. If Philly had just won this, come back standard 3-1, because we've seen it happen these last few years, nobody would have said too much about it. The fact that Jaylen Brown decided that after the series, I'm going to go on Twitch and bitch. I didn't mean to make that rhyme, but that's exactly what he did. Let's that it's a meltdown, bro. They pulled the Rockets. They were chucking threes all throughout the end of these last 3 games. They weren't hitting them, but they decided to keep shooting them for some reason. So this is a meltdown of epic proportions. Boston has to find a new identity because any other team in that position beats Philadelphia. Joel Embiid there or not. It's real simple. The fact that they just kept chucking threes after three after three after three, bro, and they're not dropping and you're not changing your tactics just lets me know that you guys weren't prepared to do anything else. So this is a meltdown of epic proportions on Boston's side. And Jaylen Brown crashing out on Twitch lets you know it's a Boston meltdown.
I believe, Chris. I believe in Philly.
Here we go.
I believe. Listen, I've been holding back my belief. See, this series here just reminded me to always go with your heart. Always go what you believe. And my predictions later today are really going to lean on my heart and what I believe. But I believed in Philly because if you just read the roster out loud, you like, this is the best roster in the NBA.
Yeah.
There's no freaking way that this starting 5 can't win. Now, Philly did get a little lucky with Jason Tatum being out game 7, but they still had to win 2 games before that. And this series reminisced a lot. I'm not going to say reminisce a lot with the Knicks, but with the Knicks, where everybody's trying to say, oh, Jason Tatum got hurt towards Achilles. No, Knicks was already whooping that ass. They was already taxing that ass. And Philly was on them, and they figured them out. Jaylen Brown, you had a hell of a season, but Philly was actually just a better team. And I feel like the East has been put on notice. We want Boston. How you do that in the play-in? We want Boston and deliver. So shout out to them. Maxey, VJ balled out in game 7. Paul George get to play, the third wing. Joel Embiid doesn't have to be 100%. I mean, that's a legit team. And Nick Nurse has got it done before. So watch out for Philly, Chris. Watch out for Philly.
Brian, as much as I want to believe in Philly, man, it's just really hard to see, like you said, man, to see this series as anything other than Boston letting go of the wheel, bro. Like, you didn't learn your mistake from last year, bro. That's how you lost to the Knicks, chucking up threes. You had leads in 2 or 3 of those games versus the Knicks, and you blew all 3 of those games because you were chucking up threes. So it's just like, yo, you're melting down right in front of our very eyes.
But hasn't Boston done this multiple times?
Exactly.
Outside of the year they won the championship where their roster was just freaking loaded. But even then, like when they lost to Miami to an AC in the Eastern Conference Finals, it's just who they are. This is what they do. So them losing to Philly is not Boston letting go of the reins. This is Philly taking the reins. And B came and said, y'all ain't got an answer for me. And B came and showed them, you don't have an answer for me. And they don't. They don't have Porzingis.
It didn't matter, though. It didn't matter the first game Embiid came back. He balled out.
But why? No, he did not ball out. It was the first.
The threes were falling.
He did not ball out. Like you said, the first game that Embiid came back.
He had like 26 points. That's balling out.
He did not ball out. Like you said, the first game somebody comes back is always a disruptor. We can go to the West. Austin Reeves came back. The Lakers lost immediately.
He
I'm
balled
just
out
saying
the
here.
first game. That don't mean he ain't ball out just because they lost. Don't mean he ain't ball out.
Bro, he ain't ball out, bro. I'm gonna tell you, he ain't, but he balled out game 7. He balled out game 7.
He balled out
He
there
balled out
too.
game 7. But stop. But listen, Philly took that and Boston at home and JB crying. And listen, JB crying might have signaled the end of Jaylen Brown in Boston.
Good.
I'm here for it.
Good.
Him crying and bitching signaled that I'm ready to be the man. He don't want to be Pippen, Chris. Nobody wants to be Pippen.
He's not. He's Jordan. Jason Tatum is Pippen.
But no. I mean, listen. Jason Tatum is seen as the one on that team. Jaylen Brown literally said on his Twitch, "This is the best season I ever had in my life. This is my most memorable and favorite season of my career." Chris, that echoes in the locker room and in the organization. Because he's saying,
so what do you think happens next year with JB then?
Oh, next year, if they play together, there's going to be friction. There's going to be friction between Tatum and Brown because Brown is not going to want to take the back seat no longer, and Tatum is going to want to claim the reins. Because you seen when Tatum was ramping up, they even talked about Tatum used to say, "I ain't coming out here just to be no role player. I ain't coming out here just to be second fiddle. I come out here to be the man." How you gonna do that when you got a player who's equally as good as you, if not better, on that team? It's the Kobe and Shaq dilemma is happening now. They did well. They did well trying to mask it.
Drake says they're both Pippen.
Listen, I actually like that, but they fight over who Pippen. Then you both can't be Pippen. Yeah, somebody gotta be Jordan. Somebody has to be Jordan. But when he said that and he was crashing out on that Twitch, I was the alarm bells were ringing because he said, "I like being the man." And Atlanta, go get your boy. Atlanta, go get your boy. Go get your boy. But yeah, man, that's my take on the Celtics. Philly, Jaylen Brown's crash out. Crazy. But in addition to other crash outs, Orlando, not the only team to blow a 3-1 lead in the East, crashed out in epic fashion. And they went and took it an even step further by firing their coach Mosley. Chris, was this firing fair? Or no?
It was foul. Definitely unfair. I'll be the first to tell you I had higher expectations for Orlando. I think I had them as like the top 3 or 4 seed coming into the season. Here's why it's foul. 5 years at the helm, 3 years you made the playoffs. I get it. You've never been out the first round. But what were you before you got there, bro? Just inconsistent. A nothing burger. Coach after coach after coach. Ever since Dwight left, and I think it was like 2011, y'all haven't been consistent, haven't been good. You finally got to have something to build off of, and everything's aligning your way. Then boom, injuries, bro. Injuries ravage this team left, right, and center. And yeah, you could talk about roster construction, but that's not Mosley's job. His job is to do the best that he can with what he has, and he was never really dealt a good team to begin with. If Franz Wagner plays, they win this series. That's just real simple for me, and I don't think he's fired. So that's why I think it's a foul, but you can't lose game 6 in the way that he did, so you can make that case too. But his overall body of work, it just lets me know that it was a little bit foul, but because what is Orlando really going to accomplish? Let's be real. So I didn't like it personally.
Yeah, Orlando is in a funny position where they overachieved while underachieving. They did both at the same time. Because like you said, they were supposed to be the 3rd seed this year. I mean, they were actually projected early on to be the number 1 seed in the East with all the injuries. Yeah, and they barely make the playoffs. And then they get in the playoffs and stun everybody and overachieve as an 8th seed. So I'm going to go with fair. Mosley, actually, I think is a good coach. I think he's going to get another opportunity. But 3 first-round exits in 3 years, all right, enough is enough. You 3 strikes and you're out. I'm fine with that. He's just another casualty like Mark Jackson. If I go to the NFL, the Tony Dungys, those guys who help build or bring the franchise back to relevance, and they just can't get over the hump due to unforeseen, things that they can't control. It's just naturally how it happens. But he blew a 3-1 lead. They scored 19 points and a half in game 6 in the second half. That's the lowest ever in NBA history. Ever. I mean, 50s, 60s, 40s, where they weren't shooting threes. That's the lowest ever, Chris, in NBA history. Think about that. 19 points in an entire half. Jalen Suggs shot 44 shots in 2 games, Chris. He basically went 8 for 44. Take him out. Stop letting them shoot. Coach, you got to do something. You got to call timeouts. You got to get better offensive flow. So I understand why Orlando fired him, but I will give him his just due for getting them to relevance again. But hey, you can't do what he did and keep your job. Just like you said about Atlanta, historical blowout in the playoffs. He just had a historical loss. So
last one, Brian. Cavs, Raptors. We talking about all the losers here. What can the Raptors do to contend next year, man? Like, what's a move they can make?
Let me think. Not a damn thing. What the hell? Don't let the Raptors taking the Cavs to Game 7 make you believe that this is a legit team. They have nothing, Chris. They have Scotty Barnes. I like Scotty Barnes. RJ Barrett played tough this playoffs. I'll give it to him. But they got a guy who they're paying a lot of money to named Brandon Ingram, who had 7 points in the game, who sat out the end of the series because he just couldn't buy a bucket. His confidence was completely shattered. So he's like, Coach, I'm injured. I'm hurt. I don't want to play no more. And you believe they're going to do something next year? Hell no. Nothing the Raptors can do.
Brian, make a trade for Bam.
Yeah, ass. They're going to be worse.
Okay, trade for Bam. Because at the end of the day, the only reason they lost versus y'all is because they couldn't board up, bro. They had nobody in the paint that could board up with Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. So they need some size there, somebody who can have some type of defensive presence, rim protect, ball handle, spread the floor, do it all. Him and Scotty Barnes would be a great little tandem. That's what I think they should do, but I don't think that'll make them a contender, just being real. It'll help, but they're a little bit far away from being a contender. Moving on to the West.
Yeah, wrap it up.
Wrap it up. Moving on to the West. Let's talk about my boys, man. Nuggets got embarrassed. Talk about embarrassing fashion. Game 6, no Ant, no Dante. Still get their ass whooped by the Minnesota Grizzlies. I said Minnesota Timberwolves. Is Jokic window closed? Is he never going to win a championship again, bro?
Yeah, finito. Jokic window is closed. He's 31 years old. He's a big. Unfortunately, Big's life cycle is not as long as the guards or forwards. I don't know. They would have to make a big splash, like getting rid of Jamal Murray. And starting there, his time is done for me as a Nugget. But unless if he's gonna be there, their window is closed.
I'm a cop out here. I'm gonna say no, but it's a caveat, man. The window's closed. It's just not locked. You know, sometimes you gotta lock the top of the window. It's not locked because end of the day, I can't see OKC going anywhere. Spurs are only going to get better. Dallas is going to get better. So that's 3 teams right there that are younger than you.
Portland.
Jokic's game could last another 5-6 years. The problem is that he has a bunch of people around him that have unfavorable contracts. A lot of people with unfavorable contracts. Aaron Gordon can't stay healthy. Jamal Murray can't get past ball pressure. Christian Brown, I don't know what the hell they were thinking paying him. So, like you said, they're going to make some sacrifices. I think Jamal Murray's the move that they have to make to get rid of because it is what it is. But this offseason is critical for them. Very, very critical. So I'm going to say no because the window's not locked. But, it's an uphill battle for sure. For sure.
Go get a defensive big. Go get some.
Need some athletes, Brian. They need athletes.
Yeah, some athletes, some athleticism. Yeah. Like Valanciunas is the same as Jokic.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's keep on pushing, man. The Phoenix Suns doing a lot of yapping during that series, not playing a lot of basketball at all. Phoenix Suns got swept by OKC. Who would have expected that? Is Booker being loyal hurting him? Or do you believe he's just scared to leave? What do you think Devin Booker should do?
Devin Booker's scared, bro.
What is he scared of is the question. What is that?
He's scared of the scrutiny. He's scared of what's happening to Jokic right now. He's scared of what's happening to Embiid because he's the only MVP to not make a finals, conference finals. He's scared of what happens to Luka when he flames out of the playoffs. He's scared of being in a contending position, being the star player in that contending position. Now, we say what we want. He went to the finals with the Suns, this, that, and the third. You know who got the most blame for that loss? Chris Paul, funny enough. Mm-hmm. Chris Paul got most of the blame. He got most of the credit. Whatever. Devin Booker is content with being the 12th best player in the league without having any type of scrutiny and getting the bag and getting the max for it. We don't talk about the 11th, 10th, 14th, 15th players in the league and put scrutiny on them because we don't have that expectation for them. Devin Booker can score with anybody. Devin Booker should be playing deep into May or June consistently. But what we realize is that with Devin Booker is he's going to get the bag, he's going to get his points, and he's content with being in a bottom feeder in Phoenix. So he's scared. He's not loyal. He's scared.
I see Devin Booker as Damian Lillard. Devin Booker. I know. No, listen. Let's just keep it real. Devin Booker has been further than Damian Lillard. Let's go there. But Devin Booker is loyal to Phoenix because he's not that guy. Anywhere he goes, he won't be that guy. But being in Phoenix, what is he? He's the focal point. He's the center. He is the foundation for Phoenix. He can't be that anywhere else. He's going to be a second option, maybe even third, anywhere else he goes. And you have to be able to accept that and adapt to that. And I don't think he wants to do that. If you watch what Dame did, Dame loved being in Portland because Portland worshiped him. Portland was a small market team. He was the guy there, and they weren't going anywhere fast. But he got his shots, and he got his numbers, and he got a team to the playoffs just to go nowhere. That's what Devin Booker is. And I feel like he's okay being that. When Damian Lillard went to Milwaukee and he had to be or play behind someone else, he did not know how to do that. And he hated it because the franchise did not cater to him or did not make him the focal point of their organization. And he is like, I want to go back home. Devin Booker ain't going nowhere. And you seen how the owner was talking about him too. So why would you go? He has to, huh?
I would trade him.
Oh, yeah, no. The right answer is to trade him. But the way the owner was talking about Devin Booker, they are good at the hip. They are invested in each other both ways. So, yeah, D-Book, he's just not that guy. He can put up great numbers though, like Damian Lillard, but he's not that guy. Dame not that guy either.
Imagine D-Book on Detroit, Brian, next year.
That would be amazing.
Cade and Devin Booker.
That would be
tough,
amazing.
Man.
That would be amazing. But he ain't leaving Phoenix. All right, let's go on over to the Rockets. Let's go to the Rocket.
Brian.
Chris. Oh, you go ahead because where do
Nah,
you want to start with this
man,
team?
I was gonna say we don't talk about people who in the 11, 12. We don't talk about the Rockets. So how do the Rockets stay relevant after this year? That was my question.
Okay, well, how do the Rockets stay relevant
or get better? You can twist it or whatever.
Unfortunately, they need a backup center or a physical center, a defensive center, like a Gafford. Get one of them Dallas centers because they got tons of them. It sucks that what's the New Zealand guy got hurt.
Steven Adams.
Steven Adams sucks that he got hurt because he was a great anchor for them, a great leader for them. And just wait for Fred VanVleet to come back. And I think they'll be a lot better with Fred VanVleet. It's just an unfortunate, just putting things in perspective, it was just an unfortunate year based on injuries. But when it comes to KD, your legacy is shot, my guy.
You stole my answer. My thing was, just run it back. Fred VanVleet coming back should help significantly. Yeah. And honestly, I think if they have a point guard, they win this series. Just like a legitimate point guard, you beat the Lakers. So how about finding a backup point guard for Fred VanVleet? Let's just start there. So yeah, run it back. I think that's how they stay relevant. It should help with their record. The record should be better than this year.
Even if it's the same, I mean, they'll be better in the playoffs. I think that's where it matters, is just the playoffs. But this year just exposed KD even more. Everyone always complains about him.
I always felt about him, bro.
Yeah, but it was just plain to the plain eye. Every KD fan, you argue this. I feel like he gave up on the team. And honestly, that locker room might be broken after what KD has done this season. So it'll be interesting to see how they come back. If they come back stronger, if they have that chemistry. But it looked like those young boys was playing harder without KD than when they had KD.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right, man. Last team, Brian. Portland. Can they make the leap?
I believe Portland was the most impressive team this year. No one expected. They had a good run to start the season. Then they fell off a little bit. Because I think they were like number 1 in the West at one point. They have the opportunity to become the next OKC. They have the talent, the youth. Denny, Scoot came out of nowhere like second half of the season once he got healthy. Donovan Clingan, 7'4", huge center, rebounds, tough defensive team. Drew Holiday, oh my goodness. The only question is, what do you do with Dame? Because where does Dame fit between Drew Holiday and Scoot Henderson? You can't run it back-to-back with small guards. You've done that already. You've seen what that looks like. For me, Portland, one, needs to rehire their coach. You hear all of the grumblings going on about them trying to hire a coach with the lowest salary in the league. But bring back Thiago Splitter and get more offensive weapons because the defense is there. So I feel like Giannis should go to Portland. And I feel like that team right there would contend in the West immediately. But who wouldn't want Giannis? But that's just my thought where I think Giannis should go. Still a small market team, but in the West Coast.
Good one. I haven't heard that Giannis one. I'm gonna say no because straight up, like you mentioned it, they're talking about firing Thiago, trying to get a cheap coach. Owner's not trying to dish out money, and it's never a good sign when you got a new owner who's not trying to spend. So I'm gonna say no for now. But I do like their team on paper for sure. Yeah, leave it there. All right, we talked about the losers, gave them their love, but round 2 is ready to take off tonight. We got a game actually here in the next hour. Brian, let's start with your boys, Cavs and the Pistons. This should be a very, very interesting matchup. who you got, why you got them, and how many games do you see this going?
Don't be asking me dumbass questions, man. Cavs in 6. Everybody is down on the Cavs because we struggled against Toronto, where it's about matchups. And Toronto is a tough matchup where you got a small guard like Donovan Mitchell being guarded by Scotty Barnes and RJ Barrett. Donovan about to cook. Don't forget, Detroit struggled against the 8th seed Orlando, who couldn't buy a bucket. They were down 3-1. At least we handled business the way we were supposed to handle business. Cavs in 6. You heard it here first. My X factor for that series is Max Strus. Because Max Strus, when he turns up, gets aggressive, and hits shots, he gives us that other element of offense that takes the stress off of James Harden and Donovan Mitchell from scoring all of our points. So we need Max Strus to give us some buckets and keep the bench in the game. Come on, Chris. Who you got? Tell me you got the Cavs.
And I got Pistons in 7. Yeah, I think you guys just match up very, very well against each other. I think you guys split the series this year, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm going to go with the team that had the better record and has home court advantage. I don't think there's much separating you two, personally, because Cade, Donovan, you kind of give the slight edge to Cade, but same time, they're both on like the same type of level. You both have 2 really solid bigs in the front court. The wings, question mark. That's a question mark.
Don't know what you're going to do.
Yeah. So, and then obviously you're both in the same division, so there's a familiarity factor there. So I'm gonna just say the Pistons eke it out, only because of the X factor that I'm gonna mention here, and that's Asor Thompson. I think he's gonna have to have a phenomenal defensive performance against Donovan Mitchell, make it his life hell. And if you're gonna have somebody beat you in a 7-game series, why not leave it to James Harden, where we've seen what he's done in the past, leaving teams in a 7-game series. So I'm gonna go Pistons eking it out. Pistons in 7 here.
Yeah, I like your X factor. If you ask me who I fear most, I would say Asor Thompson.
Yeah, he's a freak.
He had 16 rebounds. 16 steals and 16 blocks in the last series, which is crazy. Sweet. Let's keep going, man. Knicks versus Sixers. This is a fun one right here.
This is
This is a fun one.
I'm going Knicks in 6.
Knicks
in 6. Yeah. They're not a 3-point heaving team like the Celtics. And what I really liked about the Knicks, especially in that last series, they realized who their best playoff player is, and that's Cat. Let's just get it out the way. You get Cat involved more oftentimes than not, he's going to give you energy on both sides of the ball. And once he scores, like if he gets a double-double, like 20 and 10, I think they're pretty much undefeated in the playoffs. So keep Cat involved. Jalen Brunson's going to have to play better than what he did last series, no doubt about it. But the matchup is Cat. Can he keep Joel Embiid away from the paint, hit enough middies, enough three-pointed shots, get aggressive, potentially put him in foul trouble? But I just think the Knicks overall as a team and a unit, the continuity that they have will carry them over versus what the Sixers kind of just riding momentum have going on right now. So I'm going to go Knicks in 6. Cat's my X factor.
Yeah. I got Sixers in 6. Philly has figured it out. And I feel like they're the most scariest team in the playoffs, East or West. They figured it out. And the way Embiid talking, man, you got to love it. Philly in 6. The X factor is Paul George. Because Paul George has to match the productivity or exceed the productivity of Bridges and OG Anunoby. OG, that's the X factor for the Knicks. Because he's scary when he's hitting shots. Because he's a hell of a defender. And he has the ability to really lock down your best player on the other team. So I still got Philly coming through because I feel like Embiid is going to come through. Maxey, VJ, Paul George is too much. But it's going to be fun, though.
Brian, this is gonna be the best series.
The best series in
I
think in the entire playoffs. Matter of fact, we want Philly at 7. I wanted to go 7. Just because I wanted to go 7.
Yeah, but yeah, this game 1 tonight, I think, is going to be a battle. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes to overtime tonight. Because I think both teams are just going, no, game 1 is very, very important. Man, I can't even speak. Yeah.
I'm excited, man. Let's go to the West Side. West Side, Spurs versus Wolves.
Come on, bro. What are we even talking about here? You know, if my boys didn't wet the bed, I'd pick the Nuggets just because the West is interesting. Matchups. But yeah, I can't see. I don't see how the Wolves have an answer for what the Spurs have. You could put McDaniels on Fox. You could put Anthony Edwards on Castle. Harper's been stepping up. You don't have an answer for Wemby. You just don't. He's not going to play like Jokic did and hunt fouls. He's going to face Gobert up, take him off the dribble, hit step back threes. So I got Spurs in 5. Yeah, Spurs in 5. X factor is Stephon Castle and the job he does on what's his face, and Edwards. Yeah, so
y'all heard it here first. Wolves in 7. Wolves in 7. Ant playing tonight. That's all I needed to know. And I don't even know if we can say this on air. They just got a bunch of niggas. They just got them all, bro. They got a bunch of them guys. When Jaden McDaniel, Julius Randle, Ant Edwards, Conley, Nas Reed.
Terrence
what you say, Chris? It's about matchups. This is going to be the toughest matchup for the Spurs because who knows Wemby better than anyone? Tell me, Chris.
Probably Rudy Gobert, probably.
The Frenchman Rudy Gobert, who trained this kid when he was 16 years old. Rudy knows him better than anyone. And Minnesota has bodies to throw at him. This is a physical team, Chris. This is a team where they make you fight. And that's what they said to Denver. We want to fight. And Denver said, we don't have any good fighters. Spurs has a couple good fighters. For the entire lineup of the Wolves, all they want to do is fight. So 7 games, Wolves eke it out because Wemby is too beat up at the end. That's it.
I mean, Brian, I'm going to be real. I can see that happening.
Yeah. But it's matchup. It's matchup. This the matchup. This the one matchup. This the one matchup that they didn't want is the Wolves.
I'd say this. They didn't want to see Denver. They didn't. I'm just be real. And this is somebody who doesn't.
That's because Jokic feasts on Wemby.
Yeah, because he just eats Wemby a lot.
He wears him out.
I just don't see anybody else who has something to stop Wemby, bro. And even Denver didn't stop Wemby. They just outscored Wemby in the Spurs. Like, for real, we being real.
I get it. Jokic is a big body and he wears down on Wemby. It's like the what's his name? Tyson Theory, Deontay Wilder. I'm just lean on you. I'm just be bigger than you. That's all. But yeah, man, I like my take. I can't wait to see that series. I feel like Ant playing tonight. I feel like it's gonna be a physical series. But let's go to other game in the West, Thunder's Lakers.
Brian, as much as I want my boy Bron to advance, I just don't see it. OKC's too good, especially if Luka's not healthy. That's my X factor. Is Luka's knee? Is Luka's hamstring? Excuse me. For my Thunder picks, so I'm gonna go Thunder in 6. I'm gonna respect the Lakers enough to get 2 games, which is honestly a stretch. But yeah, no Luka, no chance. Because Luka, he feasts on this matchup. I just don't see anybody else on the Lakers who can at this point, especially Bron being 41. So Thunder in 6.
Man, I don't even care, bro. Lakers in 7. I don't even care. Hey, I'm following my heart, man. I don't care what nobody. I'm saying what I want to see. Lakers in 7. Hey, there's been upsets all playoffs. People predicting Boston going to the finals. Rockets gonna sweep the Lakers. I mean, listen, Cavs was supposed to sweep the Raptors. Follow your freaking heart. Lakers, I feel like Bron is a basketball savant, and he will figure out a way to create a master game plan to get OKC. And I'll say this: Lakers will get blown out some games, and they're gonna win close games. But the Lakers in 7. It's gonna come down to one of them Golden State series where LeBron comes back 3-1. I'm just saying, I've seen the impossible. I'm believing because the Rocket series was supposed to be impossible.
Man, Brian, nothing would make me happier. I'm not gonna lie, nothing would make me happier. I just can't see it. I gotta stick with take integrity, bro.
Now, I'm with take integrity. I'm explaining to y'all why. Trust the process. Trust the process.
Trust the process. All right, man. Listen, next week we both going to be sitting here looking butt in the face because none of our takes come in.
None.
Oh man, Brian. All right. Final bull take. Who you got winning it all, bro? Because round 2, we can't hide from the smoke anymore. Who you taking? Go all the way.
I got Philly winning it all. I almost made you spit out your drink.
The Sixers, like Philadelphia 76ers?
76ers wins it all. They found it. They figured it out. I'll leave it there.
Listen, if you thought there was some heat on Jokic after he flamed out, let Embiid win a ring. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Listen, I've been with them since the start. I'm gonna stick with OKC, man. Shea is just undeniable at this point, bro. Like, he's undeniable, and 2 MVPs, 2 scoring champs, 2 championships back to back. More than 65 wins both seasons. Yeah, this is probably one of the most phenomenal two-year periods in NBA history. So I think OKC gets it done, man. And he cements his legacy as one of the greatest guards in NBA history. So, yeah, OKC.
Boom! My man with the most boring take of them all at the end of the day. OKC, I mean, listen, they're the favorites. They have the best team. It's obvious. But hey, y'all follow our takes. We got some games to watch tonight. Y'all let us know by liking, commenting, subscribing to our channel, how y'all feel. And then if y'all want to, come step up to the soapbox so we can let y'all know how wrong y'all really are. Peace
or
out.
Right if you have my takes.
Hey, ain't nobody right with me at the end of the day.
Those